Welcome back to another Mailbag edition. I'm Evan Rogers with Taylor Vippolis, and today we are going to dive into which quarterback should start for UNC. Week 1 at Minnesota. Who's trotting out there that first drive for the Tar Heels?
We have to preface this first. College football 25 has kind of been the craze of the summer. And if you're asking me about real life, I have a different answer than I would have in this new game. Because in this new game, Connor Harrell is my guy. I put Connor Harrell in, and I'm sprinting. I'm waiting for plays to break down. And the second one of my linemen loses somebody, I'm taking off. I'm not even going to the second to third read. So in the college game, Connor Harrell, are you with me there?
I'm all in. It was honestly, I saw I think it was 85 speed or something like that. I mean, you've got to have a mobile quarterback in NCAA football. It's just a cheat code. So yeah, I also subbed in Connor at the beginning.
Yeah, I think when that game first came out, some people have called me a mobile quarterback merchant, where I'm sorting by the fastest quarterbacks, and those are going to be the teams that I'm normally picking. But for this upcoming season, I would say Max Johnson actually gives Carolina the best chance to win. And when you're talking about Max Johnson, I think it is easy to forget that this was a quarterback that was good enough to be a multi-year starter in the SEC. In 2021, you look at his stats, he threw for 27 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. And I think it's so easy to forget that because that LSU team didn't really have success. And now you're a couple of seasons removed from that. And when he threw for 20 plus passes in conference play that season in 2021, LSU was 3-4, so they had a sub 500 record in conference play. On paper, you see that, and you're probably not that impressed, and it's not that overwhelming. But when you kind of dissect those 4 losses, they were on the road at number 16 Kentucky, they were on the road at number 12 Ole Miss, they were on the road at number 2 Alabama, and then the 4th loss in that conference slate was a home loss to number 22 Auburn. Carolina isn't asking Max Johnson to go into Bryant-Denny Stadium and beat Alabama. They're not asking them to go to the Grove and beat Ole Miss. What we're talking about for this North Carolina team and getting to places where maybe they really haven't been to since Mac Brown has come back, or reach that same level of getting to like an Orange Bowl type appearance. We love to talk about the SEC media bias, but Carolina, the hump that Carolina's trying to get over is, hey, can you consistently beat Virginia? Can you consistently beat the Georgia Techs and the Dukes and Pittsburgh and NC State? It's not exactly murderer's row. And the fact that Johnson comes in with that much experience, over 1,600 snaps in the SEC, it's a huge plus. And because of that, it would seem like at the moment he's a more capable passer. What I do like with Connor Harrell essentially is he's giving you a completely different playing style. And while Johnson is more of a prototypical pocket passer, with Harrell you can implement more of the QB run game, and you give defenses more things to think about, and it opens up the playbook a lot more, and you have the chance to beat more defenses with play fakes. So for me, it's kind of like a tie goes to the runner in baseball, where if these two guys are level, I go with Connor Harrell just because of what he does provide for the dual threat ability. But if they're not level and Johnson has kind of separated in training camp, I would give it to him. But I'm interested to hear who you got.
Yeah, that last point you made is kind of where my head's at. The experience part is definitely a factor. I mean, like you said, Max Johnson's got over 1,600 snaps in the SEC. Connor Harrell has 93 career snaps. But I think by what we've seen and what we've heard is, and this is not world-breaking news, is that neither one of these guys, passing-wise, are in the Drake May, Sam Howell echelon of the world. I mean, these aren't your elite top-tier passers. They're both average to, a little bit above average passers. And you've got 2 quarterbacks that are in that average to above average passing range. Why not take the quarterback that gives you the extra dimension? I mean, I think for UNC to have success this year, they're going to have to rely on Amari and Hampton a lot. And I think the biggest thing you're going to have to do for Amari and Hampton's sake is prevent defenses from collapsing on him, stacking the box, and all those sorts of things. And if you're not going to be able to do that with an elite passer who's maybe going to stretch the field like a Drake May or Sam Howell did, maybe you can do it with a mobile quarterback, one who can get outside the pocket or just stretch the defense as far as they can. So I would go with Connor Harrell as my guess right now. I do believe we are going to see both of these quarterbacks throughout the year, whether that is, if an injury pops up or just something along those lines. I mean, I do think this is going to be a season where there are going to be packages and scenarios where both quarterbacks can kind of thrive with what their strong points are. And it's going to be a matter of identifying when to use them at the right time and really just trying to maximize the most out of this room, because I do think in totality, it is a capable room. It's not a room that lacks talent. It's just a room that doesn't lack. It's just a room right now that lacks a top dog. And I think they'll figure that out when the season comes along.
I thought it was interesting too, at ACC kickoff, they brought Max Johnson and Connor Harrell. And I think it kind of speaks to the fact that Carolina is going into this training camp with it being a legit quarterback battle. We've heard at times like Carolina goes into a quarterback battle and it's Drake May and Jacolby Criswell, but everything kind of pointed that Drake May was pulling away and Drake May was going to be the guy, or that first year when it's Sam Howell and Jace Ruder and Cade Fortin, that Sam Howell was always the guy, but you want to present it as a quarterback battle. And I kind of mentioned him. He's kind of the forgotten person in this quarterback battle. Jacolby Criswell coming back. I think there is a little, where there's smoke, there's fire. When he does come back, I don't think Jacolby Criswell is coming back and saying like, I'm coming back to just finish my degree here. I think he's coming back here because he looks at this quarterback room and he sees a path to playing time. And it wouldn't surprise me with the injury history that Connor Harrell has had at times, and Max Johnson being guys who play in a style where they are prone to get banged up, that Jacolby Criswell is entering this training camp thinking he has just as good a chance to be the starter as those first two guys.